I'm Christine. Welcome to Book Talk. Today we're discussing The Martian by Andy Weir. You guys, this book was so good. I'm so excited about it. This was great in that intense, fantastic, great way that you don't get from contemporaries. You get from like intense, fantastic stories. I've been captivated by this story from the first time I laid eyes on the trailer. The Martian has already been made into a film with Matt Damon. It's coming out in October. I believe I'm so excited, and every time I see the poster, every time I see a trailer, I just want to watch it right now. I've heard from Reagan that this book is fantastic, and I wasn't planning on buying it. I wasn't planning on reading it, and I was in London. Every time I see a bookstore in London, especially if it's not a Waterstones, I'm like, I gotta take a little detour. I gotta go in the store. I gotta just take a little look. I just gotta take a little look at the bookstore. So I went to take a look at the bookstore, and I just needed to buy it. I saw it and I was like, you know what? I want to read that. I want to read it. I want to read it right now. I bought this UK version. It's not the prettiest. The actual cover is an artistic picture of an astronaut in front of this red background. If you can't tell, I tried to dress up like a Martian today. I didn't really know how. I put red lipstick on. I dressed my bookshelf a little red because Mars is red. You know how it is when I don't have an astronaut suit to wear for the book talk. I'm so excited for the film. Oh, for those of you who don't know, The Martian is about this guy who's on a mission to Mars with his crew, and he got left behind on Mars. They thought he died because there was a big sandstorm. They had to leave and get off the planet or else everyone would die. They left thinking that one of their crewmates had died, but he wasn't dead, and he was left on Mars, and it takes 4 years to get people out to Mars. So it would be 4 years before he could be rescued, and the mission that he was on that they had to abort was meant to last 30 days on Mars. So he has to figure out how to survive on Mars all alone for years. Insanity! It's insanity. If you are not sold, go watch the trailer. What a brilliant trailer. Don't watch the new one. I feel like that's a longer one. Watch the teaser because you don't want any more spoilers. I actually didn't watch the second one because I didn't want to be spoiled anymore for the film. You know what's funny? Matt Damon, who plays the guy who's standing on Mars, it's hilarious. Oh, I didn't mention that yet. The book is so funny. I love it. I give this like a 98% out of 100. I loved it. I just flew right through it. I was, like I said, captivated. And our narrator, Mark Watney, the guy who's stuck on Mars, is so much fun to read. He's a genius on Mars. You read a lot of him doing like calculations and stuff, but he's such a smart ass. It's wonderful. I just posted my funny books video, and when I filmed that, I had not read this yet. I filmed that before I went to London, and I'm so upset that I couldn't include this in it because this is a funny book. I was chuckling all throughout this out loud. You know, and you wouldn't think a guy stranded on Mars is gonna be a funny thing to listen to. But trust me, you're gonna enjoy it. Anyway, like I was saying, in Interstellar, Matt Damon actually plays a guy who's left alone, stranded on a foreign planet. I just rewatched Interstellar on the plane while I was reading this. He actually almost didn't take this role because he heard the pitch, a guy stranded on Mars. He's like, Interstellar, I just played a guy stranded on a planet. And then he read the script, and he was, oh, I gotta do this. I'm so excited. I'm not gonna really tell you anything else about what happens in the story. It's a survival story, and it's great. I think that's it for my non-spoilery section. I highly recommend this book. 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Guys, it's so good. So if this sounds interesting to you, and it should, you should go read it and then come back and discuss it with me together, okay? Bye non-spoilery people! Okay. I don't even know where to start with this. I really wish I had the nicer cover because this looks so ugly on screen. The book behind the major motion picture, disguised as a sticker, but is actually part of the cover. God darn it, it's so ugly. I'm just looking at the viewfinder and I can't with this. Get off. According to the trailer, I think Matt Damon's really gonna do a good job capturing the spirit of Mark Watney and his logs. I'm really interested in how the logs are gonna be. It looks like they're typed out logs in the book, but I don't know, maybe he was dictating them and he was talking and it would type it out for him. But it appears that in the film, the logs are video logs. I don't know. I'm interested in to see how that's gonna go and how much of it will be narrated while he's doing things. I can't believe all the shit that Mark went through. One thing after another, after another, after another, after another. When he exploded out the airlock, he flew a bajillion feet in the tumbling thing. I thought we were done for. No, that's just the beginning of a huge shit pile of shit that Mark will have to go through. And he does it with such grace. His ability to problem solve is so admirable. I can't. He's so damn funny. I wish I wrote down more of the funny parts. I didn't cry in the book until it got to the end. They were doing the countdown to launch Mark off of Mars, and I was just a basket full of emotions. better work. And I was crying all toward the end as they got him out. I did read this on the plane, so it did make it hard for me to take notes. And I read it on the tube and on trains. It was hard to note take. I mean, usually I would note down all this funny shit because there's a lot of funny shit. But I noted down a few on the plane I drew on my book. Yes, I drew on my book. I don't care. It's my book. Leave me alone. I also held it like this. Oh, it burns. It burns! Don't, it's just a paperback, relax. I'm gonna get a hardcover, I think. So when we find out there's gonna be a whole storm on his way to Shirapelli, on his way to the map, I couldn't believe it. And I thought that was gonna be much harder to get around than it was, but he was like, oh, let me just, you know, test this out. See where my solar panels get the most light, and then I'll just go around the storm. And we just went around it. The real problem turned out when he was trying to get into the Shirapelli crater, and the rover flipped, or the trailer flipped. Yeah, things didn't go well in the descent into Shirapelli Basin. The levity in which he talks about all these life-threatening situations is beautiful. He's such a beautiful human. When he first makes contact with NASA, it's just such a win. It's just such a win. And they get the rover connected so he can type messages. And they tell him to do something. I forget what it is. They tell him to do something. It was like, fuck that, no. Venkat goes, watch your language. This is being broadcasted live across the entire world. And Mark types back, look. Boobs! He made boobs. Even at the end, he's floating out in space in like a topless spaceship. When they told him about that modification, I was like, are you shitting me? The canvas to his hat is already really worn out. It's no big surprise it ripped 5 seconds after takeoff. Anyway, even in this situation, he's like, oh, you know what I could do? I could poke a hole in the hand of my suit and travel Iron Man style towards you. I'll be just like Iron Man. You can't see where you're going. What, are you just gonna eyeball it? Just gold. Gold. The whole time Mark's just trying to survive, and I love those moments when he realizes, huh, I've technically colonized Mars. I'm the first guy to drive long distance on Mars. The first guy to spend more than 31 souls on Mars. First guy to go cross on Mars. Technically, it's called Carl Sagan's Memorial Station. But with all due respect to Carl, I can call it whatever the hell I want. I'm the king of Mars. Mark Watney, king of Mars. If Mars had money, you know who'd be on those dollar bills? Mark Watney. All those quarters they use in Mars, you know whose face is on them? Mark Watney! Back in the beginning, when he had to make water by like, splitting the rocket fuel, at the time I was like, whoa, this is the most dangerous thing ever. Little did I know we'd be exploding up into the air in an open spacecraft later on. The ease with which he explained how he's going to create water from rocket fuel by splitting the ions and creating his own water. What? He's so smart, and I'm just continuously so blown away. They should rename Mars Mark Watney. I love when he's thinking about the future. Sometimes we're talking about grandkids. In my day, had to walk along the edges of the craters in Mars in a spacesuit. And the potatoes. After this, I'll go enjoy a potato for dinner. And by enjoy, I mean eating so much I want to kill people. I enjoyed this so much. I don't even know what my favorite part is. It was so wonderful to see him succeed. Every time he managed to take another step in the direction of survival, I was so happy. When he got to the map, jumping around and punching the sky, it was just so wonderful. Every time Mark was about to do something and then we'd switch to the omniscient point of view. The dread that comes when we switch to omniscient POV. Because we know something bad is gonna happen. The astronaut comes in and out, airlock A, over and over again. The hab canvas compresses and opens over and over again. And you're sitting here reading it like, fucking God fucking damn it, like, Mark can't read this. Little did he know the crater wasn't stable in some areas. God, just, aww. I love how Mark rationed the food for special days. You get this meal if you survive something that should have killed you again. Oh, that one time when he's making the water out of the fuel and he just exploded. I was in an explosion today. I deserve a full fucking meal. and just, I loved it. I love to hear your thoughts. I'm Christine. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram to be updated when I post videos and such, I'm at XTINEMAY. I'm also on Tumblr. I'm also on Goodreads. All the links are in the doobly-doo. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!